Welcome to the Hope for the Journey podcast, a weekday wellness tips program presented by Dr. Denise Marie, Third Order Carmelite. Dr. Denise is a professionally qualified clinical psychologist, health and wellness professor and coach, counselor, plus medicinal herbs educator. Each Hope for the Journey podcast features a well-being key from Dr. Denise, helping you meet your self-care needs for living well. Listener discretion is advised because this and other Hope for the Journey episodes may contain discussions surrounding behavioral health problems and other actual potentially triggering topics. Good day and hello everyone. Welcome back to Hope for the Journey. I hope things are coming along okay for you today. My name is Dr. Denise, and on today's episode of the podcast, our topic is assertive communication, which is a relational self-care key for living well. Many people who are quite capable are actually missing needed faith in their own abilities. And many persons arrive at adulthood with wounded abilities. Abilities to ask for things from other people in their lives. Abilities to say no or maybe to what others would like to have them decide. Ability to kindly refuse or say maybe without having to offer unnecessary apologies or give reasons for their choices. These kind of things stand in the way of assertive communication, to say the things they really wish to say. And instead, people can find themselves living with a peace that is fake, a fake peace. But there does come a time for not holding oneself back from stepping forward and taking one or more opportunities to dialogue about problem issues, whether those problem issues are small, medium, or large. Shyness with others about troublesome issues is not going to get people to where they need to go, especially stepping forward to try out confidence that is needed to deal with these situations. So you might be thinking to yourself, what exactly is assertive communication? Assertive communication is about expressing your honest opinion to another person with tact, and especially to do so without becoming unlikable. Assertive communication involves principles, rights, and skills. So I think it would be best to talk first about the principles of assertive communication. First, it is important to be respectful of other persons you are speaking with, even though you may not agree with the opinions that are coming your way. It is important to be willing from the get-go to negotiate, because in a communication where you're trying to be assertive,
it is not that you are demanding something, but rather you are asking for something that you want or something that you need from another person or persons. So another principle is to not be needlessly apologetic, but to reveal your desire to connect in the dialogue with the goal of seeking mutual understanding. Mutual understanding makes for good communication. So, besides these basic principles, it is important also in assertive communication encounters to keep in mind rights, the rights of assertive communication. So, at its core, it's important to protect your rights, advocate for your rights. For example, you have the right to change your mind about a matter that is being discussed. You have the right to actually have lapses in logic, the right to slip up, the right to make mistakes. You have even the right to let some people down, even though you would rather be pleasing them. And it's important at the same time, when you're protecting and advocating for your own rights, to also be very careful not to violate the rights of others who are involved. And then there are the skills of assertive communication. And these skills I'd like to spend a little more time talking about in today's podcasts, because the skills aspect of assertive communication really involve practical implementation. So first, I would like to recommend that when you're entering into a particular issue which can be difficult to address with confidence, that you raise the issue with a soft startup. Then I would like to underline the importance of clear expression when you talk, so that you speak your point of view clearly and also specifically. Give the needed details. Do these things in a way that you remain honest with yourself and also honest with others. I would also recommend that from the start you try your best to define and set your expectations. What are your intentions for this particular dialogue? What are your goals for having a good conversation with a good outcome? But at the same time, it is important to work on developing a shared or mutual goal. It is also a good idea to try to back up what you're saying with facts whenever that is possible. It is also a good practice to take turns talking, and take turns listening. And when you are trying to listen to what your other talk partner has to say, it is important to try your best to understand, really process what the other person is saying during the conversation. Yet if during the turn taking you find that there is something confusing, or that you are uncertain about something, or maybe that you're simply just plain curious about something regarding the issue in the other person, just simply ask questions. Do not be afraid to explore the other person's story, no matter what it might be. it is very key to avoid mind reading. Making assumptions can really lead to obstacles in the conversation. Keep in mind, of course, to watch your language. Words can be very hindering in these kinds of dialogues. So no name calling, no put downs, and refrain from insulting the other person. Though if you find you're getting stressed, it would be important to articulate why it is you're beginning to get stressed, but at the same time, too much expression of the feelings can be something to put obstacles into a dialogue. However, if you find yourself really escalating and becoming upset, it is best to simply take a short break from talking with the other person, important so that you do not lose your cool. And while it is not a good idea to be overly apologetic, there may be occasions where you do need to apologize, so offer apologies if they are really needed. I also recommend that you look at the opportunity for assertive communication as a means of brainstorming, so that if you find options for resolving a problem coming up, we'll then consider them, because it is so important to generate one or more alternatives so that there is a feeling that there's going to be a good outcome to the conversation. So alternative generation is really a good practice. I also think that the idea of, instead of more problems, offer solutions. So this kind of focus on how you actually can collaborate, even in the midst of a difficult encounter conversation-wise, is really a good procedure. Working together is what it's all about, and bringing things to a very good conclusion of peace and resolution of problems. So as you can see, it is possible to learn to make assertive communication one part of your communication skill set, keeping in mind good principles, rights, and also skills. It is not only a way of caring for yourself better, but assertive communication is also a relationship health booster. So next, for this podcast, I wanted to present two celebrities who manifest the relational habit of assertive communication. So I point to first then Patricia Heaton. Patricia Heaton is an Emmy-winning American actress, producer, author, comedian, and philanthropist. Patricia has not avoided voicing her support publicly for loving both expectant mothers and their unborn children, supporting respect for their lives no matter how difficult the circumstances. In addition, Patricia Heaton has freely spoken about global water crises. Plus, she has even spoken up about her faith, even if those around her do not share that faith. And as a second example of someone who understands the interpersonal importance of assertive communication, I would also like to draw attention to Kevin Sorbo. Kevin Sorbo is an American producer, director, and the actor known especially for his starring role in Hercules, and also for his role in God's Not Dead. Kevin Sorbo has not avoided publicly expressing what he has learned about some very aversive things going on in Hollywood. He has also been free to speak about the kickbacks he has experienced for holding Christian beliefs and compatible political points of view about a number of social issues today that are considered hot button issues. So, as you can see, it is clear that Patricia Heaton and Kevin Sorbo both practice assertive communication as part of their interpersonal dialogue styles for living well. Now, interestingly enough, I found recently a piece of music that is quite supportive of today's podcast subject matter of assertive communication. The song is appropriately named Assertiveness Song. It is by the Mosaic Project. The song is taken from a set of songs called Children's Songs for Peace and a Better World. And with the assistance of the internet, I was able to discover this song's lyrics, and the following would be the ones I wish to underline by reading them for you today. When you're passive, you shrink back and use a weak voice. When you're aggressive, you spread poison and try to force a choice. Assertive is the answer. It's strong without being mean. It's your body language, what you say, and how you say it. Because your superpower is assertiveness. Calm, cool, collected, confident, and clear. You gotta be calm, cool, collected, confident, and clear. It's okay to say no. And allies who can empathize are sure to lend a hand. As many times as it takes, respect. Connect. Protect your space. Calm, cool, collected, confident, and clear. You gotta be calm, cool, collected, confident, and clear. So as you can tell, this song by the Mosaic Project has words which convey the benefits of being assertive rather than being passive or aggressive toward good resolution of troublesome interpersonal issues. So with assertive communication, the outcome is greater peace for both your relational wellness and your overall wellness. And moving along at this time, I wish to focus your attention on a bit of extra care for you and your relational wellness by reviewing the following set of health foods and plants that can support a decision to use more assertive communication in your life. Assertive communication is our relational self-care key of the day. Though keep in mind that before personal trials with these herbs, to discuss these with your doctor because your personal health circumstances are important. So in pursuit of assertive communication, I am mentioning these 3 particular herbs as complementary to both body and soul functioning. First, there are the gentle linden leaves. Linden leaves can enhance calm through sedative properties. Then there is kava kava. Kava kava is an herb that can reduce worry, can soothe and enhance relaxation. And as well, I mention red clover, which is an herb known to be a stress reducer. And remember to speak with your doctor about using such herbs in order to determine their compatibility with your particular health status. Other than that, it pleases me to have this opportunity to point to linden leaves, kava kava, and red clover as a trio of nature's gifts that can be of possible assistance in your efforts to choose assertive communication toward a goal of increased relational well-being. Also, I wanted to include this brief item for sharing with you today, a post-it note I have written to encourage you to make times of assertive communication part of your dialogue self-care plan. So I hope you will take to heart these words from a friend. Actually, it's from Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. Have a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Next, it was my hope to feature a phone app to support efforts to practice assertive communication, particularly in favor of your relational wellness. And it was good to be able to find the lifestyle app called How to Be Assertive, created by Everyday Apps. The description of this particular app says that it is an app that will, quote, explain 3 key steps that will help you in communication assertively, end quote. Then going beyond this featured How to Be Assertive app, you can keep in mind that there are other avenues of help available in our Hope for the Journey podcast resource center, located on Instagram at Cause for Hope. Further, as a means of finishing up this evening's discussion, I would like to share my appreciation for having this podcast time with you to cover today's subject matter, to speak about the relational self-care key of assertive communication. And please know that I personally wish you more hope for the journey of greater well-being.
The Hope for the Journey program airs weekday evenings from 7:45 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Instagram and YouTube. Dr. Denise thanks you for listening to her Community Wellness podcast and wishes you to keep in mind that there is cause for hope of more well-being.